Let's talk about the most complex thing in the entire universe. Seriously, it's got about 86 billion neurons, generates enough power to run a light bulb, and, yeah, it's sitting right there between your ears. So, let's get into what makes your brain the ultimate supercomputer.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How you can suddenly remember a song from your childhood 1 second, and then, without even thinking, pull your hand away from a hot stove the next. It feels like some kind of magic, right? But it all comes down to the incredible wiring inside this one amazing organ.
So let's start with the big picture. Before we zoom into all the tiny details, we really need to understand the brain's main job. It's the absolute command and control center for your entire body. I mean, every single thing you do, or think, or feel, it all starts and ends right here. Thinking, memory, making decisions, these aren't just things that happen in the background. They are active, full-time jobs that your brain is doing constantly, even when you're fast asleep. It's like the CEO, the head of shipping, and the chief data analyst for your body, all rolled into one.
And here's the part that just blows my mind: the speed. Information comes in from your senses, the brain figures out what it means, and an instruction goes out. This whole loop, it happens in milliseconds. That's literally faster than you can blink. It's this non-stop, super fast cycle that keeps you alive and moving through the world.
Okay, so we know the brain is incredibly fast. But how? How does it actually do that? Well, to answer that, we've got to zoom way in. We're going from the big picture command center all the way down to the microscopic level to see how this amazing machine really works.
It all starts with these incredible little cells called neurons. You can think of them as the wiring for your personal supercomputer. And you have about 86 billion of them. Each one can connect to thousands of others, creating a network that's more complex than anything we've ever built.
And these neurons all work together in this really logical 4-step process. Let's just walk through it. First, your senses, like your eyes or ears, pick up some information. Second, that signal zips along from neuron to neuron as a tiny electrical spark. Third, it hits the brain's main processors, which analyze it. And finally, number 4, the brain sends out a command for your body to do something. Every single action you take follows this exact path.
So look, if all that 4-step stuff sounds a bit technical, don't worry. You can just boil it all down to this really simple flow. You've got input coming from your senses, then some processing happens inside your brain, and that leads to an output, which is your action. Kicking a soccer ball, figuring out a puzzle, you name it. It all follows the same basic path.
And the time it takes for that whole trip from input all the way to output, it's just a fraction of a second. It's this amazingly fast, continuous loop that is quite literally managing your reality from one moment to the next.
All right, so that's the theory. But let's see how this whole input-process-output thing actually plays out in the real world. Because this isn't just biology class stuff. This is the process that's running your life every single day.
Just think about your day so far. You accidentally touch a hot pan. That instant reflex is your brain's super fast loop in action. You see a friend from across the street. Your brain instantly matches their face to a whole lifetime of memories. Heck, even just crossing the road safely means your brain is doing all these complex calculations about speed and distance. It's always on, and it's always working for you. So the main thing to take away here is that there are just no exceptions to this rule. Every single thing, from an involuntary twitch to coming up with a genius idea, is controlled by the very same process in your brain. It is the engine behind your entire life.
All of this brings us to one last, really impressive point. In our world full of supercomputers and amazing AI, it's kind of easy to forget that we're all walking around with the original and still the most powerful model right inside our heads.
Just let that sink in for a second. All of that sensing, processing, and reacting, your brain does all of it with more speed and elegance than any machine humans have ever built. It's the OG supercomputer, and it's still the champ.
And that leaves us with one last kind of wild question. Right at this very moment, as you're listening to my voice, your brain is doing everything we just talked about. Billions of your neurons are firing away, pulling up memories and processing this information. So, what thought is your brain creating right now?